Welcome to Rated Radio. I'm Shane Wyndham.
And I'm Ray Zander.
This is Treehouse versus A Stranger Desired.
Hope you're ready for a fight.
Roll the intro. So the first album we're going to talk about here, which is the one you picked. These are artists we've covered before. We got to pick the albums. So you picked this one.
Which is A Stranger Desired by Bleachers, which I got laughed at for, and I see why.
Who laughed at you?
I think you did.
Yeah?
Yeah, because you were like, A Stranger Desired. Like, okay. I think it was because there's a lot of it is their same material, just done differently.
Yeah.
They pulled a Weezer on us.
See, I didn't know what this was going into it, but I did think the album title was clever because I think it's the debut. Yeah, A Strange Desire. So it's a play on that, A Stranger Desired.
It's like a revisit.
And it's fitting when you hear it. Anyway, this is from 2024. It's Bleachers, A Stranger Desired. Out of the 11 tracks, I thought 2 were great.
And I thought 5 were great.
My bottom track was Take Me Away.
My bottom track was I Want to Get Better.
And my top track was Like a River Runs.
And my top track was Roller Coaster, but Shadow was up there as well.
The music makes me feel like I'm taking a nap on a lazy day.
And the music makes me feel like I'm watching someone I desire leave a party with someone else.
Brutal.
Ouch.
What did you think about the album?
While we've heard most of this material from Bleachers before, this go-around is much more simple and experimental. Yes, I said simple and experimental all at the same time. Bleachers brings you the same classics like Roller Coaster, I Want to Get Better, and Wake Me, just more slowed down with maybe a touch of country influence, or how about a horn section? Or maybe even a couple of unconventional instruments. This New Jersey band might be honing it in on some newer songs, but these songs are still good for a whole new vibe.
Well, it's going to sound weird coming from me, your resident lover of outfits like Dashboard Confessional, Copeland, etc. But this Iron and Wine meets the Avett Brothers acoustic rehash of the debut album, Strange Desire, just isn't something I'm interested in listening to outside of a niche mood. This is especially strange because I think these are great songs, and because Strange Desire is my favorite album by Bleachers. But the fact is that I'm not so crazy about it that I want these more intimate and stripped takes on the originals. Fact is, I love the 80s vibes afforded by the original versions, as well as the more modern jet streams of sound. This disc is a fan service, and a very solid one. The unplugged stuff is all executed quite nicely, and I dig some of the background orchestral work. Many of the bridges are admittedly weak where they even exist, and the choruses, in an outing this whispery, lack the intended punch. It's almost all just very even on an emotional level, and that eventually gives the same mental reaction one has when hearing something very monotone, like my voice. I guess what I'm saying is I don't know why I'd personally want this much when I have the much stronger Strange Desire to listen to. Again, it isn't anything close to bad. Some of you may even be very happy to have no Oko Yono this time around. The guitar work is even nicely complex and well executed. The recording quality is nice too for what it is. But every sentence I write here will eventually hit me saying, but. Yet again, I'm happy it exists for the hardcore fan base, just not convinced an idea for an album like this should have been greenlit. An eventual greatest hits acoustic disc? I could get that. Many users are just going to look at this album though and wonder if the future of Bleachers is continually covering old ground. I feel like a hater writing this review. I don't hate this though. Wouldn't be a bad choice on a rainy, calm day. It's just very much a bike ride through the quiet park where the debut was a roller coaster through a city of lights on a windy night. You'll probably dig the bike ride, but I'm opting for the coaster. It is at least interesting to see how top and bottom tracks can differ when the style of production changes. And with that, let us take a break. So what Billboard hit did we listen to this time?
We covered...
Am I asking you too soon? You look like you had something you wanted to throw in there.
Oh, I was going to say tens across the board. I completely agree. Strange Desire is the one that you should go to if you're going to listen to either one of these by Bleachers. Yes, Stranger Desired gave you something else, But if you want greatness, go back to that first album. But we're not here to talk about Bleachers anymore. We're here to talk about Boy's a Liar Part 2 by Pink Pantheress and Ice Spice.
What did you think?
Pink Pantheress's vocals are sweet and simple, but unfortunately, her and Ice Spice's vocals are not enough for me to forgive the lack of creativity and constant repetition. This Y2K-esque club track doesn't even hit the nail on the head when it comes to simple pronunciation. It's liar, not Leah.
I guess I wasn't paying that much attention.
The boy's a Leah.
Wow.
That's liar. The boy's a liar. The boy's a Leah.
Would you rate it? Or did you not?
I didn't.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Enjoying it that much? Yeah.
4.
Okay. I can tell you from the outset, this one's a no-go in my ears. It sounds like someone took some weak pop song from the early 2000s, sped it up, and had a DJ try to do their garbage can impression of Dee Antwoord's DJ High Tech. It's annoying to listen to, and the sped up sound makes the voice of Pink Pantheress sound all the more nasally. The only thing grounding this song is Ice Spice's voice. Unfortunately, I don't think the verse is her best work, though it's not terrible. I'm also pretty happy with the short length of the song, but mostly, I never want to hear this again. 3 out of 10 stars from me.
All right, well, I'm glad we can agree on that. Let's go talk about Treehouse.
Let's. Treehouse is an album from 2016 by the group I See Stars, and out of the 12 tracks, I thought 11 were great.
All right. I thought 2 were great.
My bottom track was Walking on Gravestones.
My bottom track was Portals.
And my top track was Mobbin' Out.
And my top track was Two Hearted.
Okay, so 2 things.
Yes.
About your top and bottom track.
Yes.
So your bottom track, Portals.
Uh-huh.
I can see why you wouldn't like that. It's a pretty serious song.
Uh-huh.
And then Two Hearted. Two Hearted reminds me to no end of 30 Seconds to Mars, Kings and Queens.
Okay, now I'm going to have to go listen to it.
Listen to them side by side. I'm telling you, it's very, very similar.
Okay, so my top track may be subject to change. Maybe Rate of Radio Revisited.
I like Kings and Queens. They call me crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't want one to be a ripoff of the other, you know?
The music makes me feel like I'm playing Hollow Knight while some pogs pleasure me.
So last Saturday night.
Mm.
The music makes me feel like I'm watching an emotional interpretive dance. It reminded me a lot of your edits, Shane.
Of what?
Your edits.
Oh, for like music mashup video things? Gotcha.
It reminded me a lot of that.
What'd you think of the album?
This metal alternative rock with a touch of screamo is I See Stars' 8th album that reminds me of artists like Paramore, Breaking Benjamin, and AFI. This music jumps between slow tracks and faster-paced metal. The tech and large production influences here can sometimes drown out our lead's vocals, and I will be the first to say I may be out of my element with music like this because I never gravitated to techno metal, but I appreciate the music and can't wait to see how they grow their sound.
What happens if you mix the styles of kawaii groups like Baby Metal and metalcore groups like Attack Attack, along with the vocal float of artists like May, Lydia, or Diaz Vale? You get this electrifying river of drown-worthy emotion, which you'll keep going under the water top in order to hear more of. It's a lot like those hyper-heartfelt electronic ballads people are always setting Minecraft videos to on YouTube, only there's significantly more metal to chew on within this particular wall of sound. There are very few albums out there which bid you to melt so completely into them as this, and the group made it seem effortless to reach inside of me and fuck the bleeding beast. The vocals could be a bit less effect-heavy at times. I noted a tiny bit too much repetition, which would have made some of these tracks perfect 10s, and song number 7 needed more meat on its ghosty bones. But I often forgot to breathe while listening to these tracks. So yeah, just one of the strongest recordings I've ever heard. No big deal. Hear it if you can find the time, I guess. It's not Tool or anything, but I'd definitely smash a timer 20,000. Going back over this listen days later, by the way, what the effort kept screaming at me was like a wombo combo of the groups Hawthorne Heights and This Day and Age, but with some Darkest Hour self-titled metal, plus loads of electronic levitation and panache. The The songs are patient yet punchy, don't overstay their welcome, and never lose that ever-touching emo thread. You very consistently get calm and chaos in the same track. Clearly my kind of roller coaster. Most songs you'll hear outside of this offer up a structure of verse-chorus, bridge-chorus. But most of this is firing off with shit like verse, pre-chorus, chorus, post-chorus, rinse, repeat, end on the bridge. There's even a wild piece here that blends Polyphia's butter prog with some nu metal hip hop techniques. I wanted a disc full of things like their song 10,000 Feet. Feels like I somehow got even more than that. An essential listen in the opinion of this hard pussy music fan.
Well, I think it's safe to say that there's something for everyone out there.
I really liked this album.
Please like and subscribe if you're still listening. Oh, remember you can send all kinds of stuff to rated_radio to keep the conversation going.
Who won for you?
Well, I think it's safe to say that Bleachers took it for me with the 5, 7, and above tracks.
I'm not even surprised anymore at this point.
Why?
It's kind of wild. Every time we come across a really kind of complex sort of metal album, like I don't expect you to like it anymore.
It's just, it's not something that I gravitate towards. And that's half the reason why we do it, is I'm discovering what I'm leaning more towards and what I don't. So I'm finding that there may be genres that I don't like. Hopefully I find something that I'm really, really into and we just haven't come across it yet.
Back in the day, when Breaking Benjamin put out their Dear Agony album, I remember being obsessed the way I feel that I am with Treehouse. And as far as this season goes so far, Treehouse is something I'm listening to just as much as I'm listening to Taylor Swift's Tortured Poets Department.
Okay.
So really, really great disc for me. And yeah, they definitely won. So even the track that I thought was weak still got a 5 from me. So in the old school, yeah, would have been perfect.
Oh yeah, I would have been hitting that bullshit. But I'm glad that we both found something that we enjoy here and that we're going to come back to. I mean, there's some on Treehouse that I may revisit. I see a couple tracks that I rated halfway decent. So the good thing is before this week, I didn't even know about this, and now I do.
Yeah.
So the more you know.
Yeah, and whatever you do, don't go to the Patreon and look at my full ratings here, because y'all are gonna think I'm crazy if you're like, right?
He is crazy.
Yeah, that's gonna do it for now.
And remember, fill your world with music.